I think that a city this size, the good thing about a city, living in a city this size, is you do feel like you do have access to the decision-making bodies in the city, city council, the mayor, etc., because it's not a large city. It's not Toronto. So your voice can actually have a bigger impact than if you're in a huge city. Having said that, I also feel like a lot of decisions get made behind closed doors and you don't actually have access, and there's sort of a pretense of democracy and participation. A lot of decisions are already made and then it goes public and the public has a chance to be consulted, but that decision's already been made and it's a fight to get what the public wants rather than what some interest wants. And I don't think it should be that way. I think, you know, the city council members are supposed to be representing us, not some other interest. And I don't feel like that's what really happens.
Good civic leader. Someone who has vision, first of all. Someone who's willing to look at what the city has to offer, all the great things about the city, and to develop those things even further, to take us into the future. I feel like, you know, some of the development right now in Fredericton is very sort of stuck in the past, stuck in a model that isn't going to work for us anymore. And I think that we need someone in that leadership role who's not afraid to make those decisions, to consult citizens, of course, but to be bold and make some steps forward.
I think that municipal government is interesting because you have a more direct connection with your citizens, and so I think that means that you have the ability to make change quickly, more quickly than in other levels of government. And so a good civic leader, I think, has sort of recognition of that and courage to do things that are possible. So courage to make change that they see fit, and also along with that means having a strong vision of what direction you want to go in.
On May 14th, citizens in Fredericton are going to have a very clear choice. They can pick a forward-looking vision for the future of the city, one that is progressive, one that is inclusive, one that actually confronts some of the challenges that we're facing, or it can stick with the old politics of the present. I think that my candidacy offers a break with that old politics, and I hope that people will support that. I'm a professor of sociology at St. Thomas University. So growing up, I came to Fredericton quite a lot. Both of my grandparents were here. When I was growing up, there was a certain moment in time in the 1990s when my grandparents were no longer able to drive around the city, and as a result ended up being stranded in Forest Hill, far away from where they could meet their daily needs. If they needed groceries or what have you, they had to call a taxi or they had to get friends to drive them. And this was a major stress for my family. I think it continues to be a major stress for a lot of families, and I think it's something that, working collectively, we can resolve. These private problems that people face are oftentimes public issues. And I think that in terms of mobility within the city, this is one that we can work on and that we can drastically improve from where it is right now. I think that Fredericton needs to be more forward-looking. It needs to take into account some of the challenges that we're facing at this particular moment in our history, and we need to be charting a new positive course for the future of the city. One of the main platform points that I've talked about is complete communities. And what I mean by complete communities are neighborhoods that provide for all of our daily needs. A lot of people in the city are having a harder time as the city grows getting to the things that they need. We have sprawled out spaces, new subdivisions that are coming up in neighborhoods that are disconnected from other parts of the city and that require car transportation all over town. As the city grows, I think what we have to be doing is thinking about some of the things that are happening. We have senior citizens who are downsizing. We have mobility issues for them, and I've been talking to people who have been saying that the walkability of neighborhoods is really important to them. One of the things that we need in complete communities is to make those make spaces more walkable, make it easier for people to get to their daily needs on foot and not just by car. It makes it easier for young families and children as well. If they can walk to some of the places that they go to on a regular basis, it's a much more, they have a much easier time navigating the city. We need to be building more neighborhoods that don't require people to use automobile transportation. If we can build a city that is more resilient, that's to say, able to provide alternative options for people that want to take public transit or that want to live in neighborhoods where they don't need to use their car all the time, we can save people a lot of money. We need to do more to build neighborhoods as we grow that project the values that we hold dear, and one of those is living in a community where we know and trust our neighbors, where we run into them, where we see them in public, where we see them on the street. And I think that the cities of the 21st century are going to have more of these types of spaces and not less. And I think we can be doing a lot more here in Fredericton to be creating those types of neighborhoods. The greatest challenge facing Fredericton in the coming decade is to be able to tap some of the knowledge and expertise of people that are already here and bring them into the city so that decision making at City Hall is informed by people who know more about certain issues than the mayor does. I feel that there is a gap between what our potential is and what we're actually delivering. I think that Fredericton needs to be more forward-looking. It needs to take into account some of the challenges that we're facing at this particular moment in our history, and we need to be charting a new positive course for the future of the city. Fredericton is a fun city, and I think that we can build on that. I think that that's a draw for us. It provides neighborhoods that creative, innovative people want to live in, and there's a lot of creative, innovative people who are moving here and who are seeing the potential of Fredericton and want to be part of this community that we have. And I want to be part of helping to build that. Capital projects that don't have a lot of value or whose value is in doubt for the citizens of Fredericton really have to be questioned. The pro-growth attitude on City Council and in the Mayor's office needs to change. Part of it is that the logic of increasing the tax base is driven by a need to fund certain capital projects like the Fredericton Convention Center, which cost each Frederictonian on average about $700 to build. As time moves on, cities change and cities reflect different values at different moments in their history. All of this is fine. What we need to realize is that we're going through a period of transition again, and certain players are perhaps slow to realize this, and City Hall has to be ahead of the curve. We have to be guiding economic decision makers to make sure that they're making decisions that are in the long-term interests of the community and, in consequence, in their own long-term interests. Some people might be making calculations about the future that are not going to work out, both for a bunch of the reasons that I've already mentioned, demographic changes, the types of communities people want to live in the future, the types of communities that people can afford to live in the future. And the fact that we're moving into a world with a climate that is quite different from the one that we have seen in the past, and we need to be thinking very carefully about city spaces and city infrastructure in light of that. I have a certain vision for what the future can be, and I think I see clearly what some of the challenges are. But there are other people in this community that both know more about those challenges than I do and who have more background, more history about how Fredericton has been engaging with those challenges in recent decades. And as mayor, I'm going to be relying on reaching out to different groups, different communities, making sure that I'm informed on the issues, working with people to collectively solve problems that we face.